So, did you see any of the trailers for the Sia film Music?
The Sia film Music? I did not see any trailers for the Sia film Music. What's that about?
I have seen the trailers for the Sia film Music. Sia, the popular artist known for such hits as "Yeah, gonna swing from a chandelier, and a very, and a very, that video where Maddie Ziegler's dancing around with a much older Shia LaBeouf.
Nope, don't know it.
Okay, well, she was famous for those. Anyway, she gained enough cultural clout to direct her own movie.
Cool.
And this movie is called Music.
I like music.
And it gained a lot of early negative press for its depiction of a neurodivergent, i.e. autistic person, in the form of Maddie Ziegler, the same lil girl. She's not so little anymore. She's a woman now. But she portrays an autistic person in a very stereotypical fashion.
Would she say?
And at first I thought...
Would you say she fully portrays the autistic person?
She fully...
Is it a
she goes full neurodivergent. To paraphrase Tropic Thunder, she goes full neurodivergent.
Yeah, let's take Tropic Thunder.
She doesn't even...
Let's take Tropic Thunder and just and make everything okay about Tropic Thunder. That's a project I want to do, is take Tropic Thunder and like make a censored version where it's like you never go full neurodivergent.
Yes. Well, you wouldn't say you never go full mentally othered. I don't know what the term for mentally disabled is now. If it's even mentally disabled. I don't know what the PC term. And you have to cover up Robert Downey Jr.'s blackface, so you just, make him in whiteface perplexingly the whole movie.
You whiteface over the blackface.
Yeah, and you have to dub him over with a guy going, "Hi, I'm Robert Downey Jr."
Yeah, the culture's moving too fast for us old-timers.
So this music film in which Maddie Ziegler goes full neurodivergent. She doesn't go full neurodivergent because autistic people don't actually act the way that is portrayed in the movie. She's doing a very strange and offensive caricature. And when I first heard about this, I was like, it's like, of course it's offensive, but, it's probably no worse than Rain Man. Mm-hmm. It's much worse than fucking Rain. It's crazy.
Oh, no. Well,
it's actually as if, like, Sia saw Tropic Thunder and saw Simple Jack and said to Maddie Ziegler, I want you to make Simple Jack. Sia's Australian.
Oh, well, damn it.
She's Australian. I want you to watch Simple Jack in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, Tropic
Simple
Thunder.
Jack. That would be new. Simple Jack. That should inspire your performance for this girl whose plight I sympathise with.
So what's is the plot that through the power of music you can conquer autism?
No, the name of the character, the name of the autistic character is Music.
What? You can't name that's why she's autistic. You can't.
Well, yeah. The premise of the movie is that the older sister, who's a free spirit and is irresponsible, is played by Kate Hudson, and her name is Kazoo. And then
oh, wow. Okay.
And then her grandparents die who have custody over Music. And now she currently now she's in the situation, I've never been responsible. Now I got this neurodivergent child on my hands, played by the dance legend Maddie Ziegler. What am I gonna do? But then she make friends with an inspiring African guy played by Lamar Odom Jr.
Oh, so they don't go to Vegas? No,
they don't go to Vegas, and she doesn't use...
Idiots.
She doesn't use music to her toothpick counting abilities to count cards in Vegas, no. And Rain Man, I want to emphasize, Rain Man was a movie made 33 years ago and created the most lasting, offensive portrayal of an autistic person in media that everyone refers to when they make jokes about autistic people. And the cast of Rain Man is a Scientologist and an alleged rapist. So those are the two guys.
There's more guys than that in there. There's
Music
probably plenty
is
more
much
guys.
worse.
There's probably
yeah,
plenty
but I'm
more
saying
guys
the two
in
guys.
Rain Man.
Who else do you remember from Rain Man? The doctor, which is saying, he's got autism.
Isn't there a bad
I don't
guy?
remember
Isn't
that
there like a bad guy?
Who is the bad guy in Rain Man?
Besides
I thought
Tom
Greed
Cruise
was the bad guy.
Tom Cruise is the bad guy because he's treating his brother like a piece of shit.
He is exploiting an autistic person in order to make money.
Piece of garbage in that movie.
Rain Man is the Rudolph Red-Nosed Reindeer trope where a differently abled person is otherized until they prove to be useful.
So Rudolph is a tale of caution. It's a cautionary tale, as it were.
Yeah. Rudolph the neurodivergent reindeer.
Contributed just as much as everyone else, right?
Yeah. When you think about it, that elf that wanted to be a dentist, definitely on the spectrum, for sure. Also gay.
You talking about Will Ferrell?
Yeah, he was that gay elf in that movie. They never showed the scene. Now, he falls in love with Zooey Deschanel, which is a very straight thing to do. Perhaps the most straight thing on earth.
I have an idea for a movie. It's called Gay Elf. It's like Elf, but he's gay elf.
Hey, who does it star? Who's your pitch for the gay
Jonah
elf?
Hill, of course.
Oh, you're not casting an actual. It's not Billy Eichner or somebody like that.
You can't get a gay person to play a gay person. Then it wouldn't. It's not
you have
acting,
to get Jonah
then.
Hill to do an offensive.
Yeah, then it's not acting. It's not acting, and if you get the gay
movie.
person to play the gay person, what is he gonna do? He's just gonna be himself.
You get Jonah Hill to do his inexplicable Cajun voice from Beach Bum.
Yeah.
The whole movie. Oh, I'm just the gay elf in Santa's workshop here, and I appear to have come across the vapors. My real father is somewhere in the city, and I better find him. Actually, that's an acceptable way to do an offensive gay voice, is doing the Southern gay voice, the Southern Belle, Gilbert from King of the Hill voice.
Well,
that's a non-offensive iteration of the gay voice.
The come down idea is to do the offensive voice, but then say you're trying to do a voice of someone who it's okay to make fun of. So you like do a racial voice, but then say you're mimicking a white person. They're geniuses over there at that podcast.
they're coming up with new concepts.
Wow.
I made a fan comic of him recently because I'm a terrible person.
You should. We should make fan comics of all the big podcasters, and then
that's my plan. That's how I'm gonna barnacle myself to pre-existing media franchises, because not unlike music, if some free spirit were to adopt me, I'm gonna make the movie called Podcast. Where I experience the world through podcasts.
I'm an autistic boy named Podcast.
Yeah. And really.
Yeah.
And my older brother, who's been a free spirit, he's just been out there playing CS:GO for years. He's just been out there in the trenches, living like a ninja turtle.
If Maddie
Ziegler's CS:GO,
if Maddie Ziegler's older sister's named Kazoo, when your name is Podcast, what's your older brother's name? It's like.
I had a Jew harp.
No. I was thinking it's like if he plays CS:GO, it's probably like my older brother's name is Computer.
Computer and yeah. AMD graphics card and podcast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if autism's really caused by older people having children, then we are really in for it.
Yeah, we're just gonna have a generation.
I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure everyone's
the trains will run on time. That's the one thing. Mussolini, there's two ways you can accomplish that: fascism or autism.
Wait, did you say the trains will run on time? Because the toy trains will run on time.
Hey, no, there are plenty. Don't diminish our good autistic trained people. That is a common and not offensive and not played out stereotype.
What do you mean? Okay. Everyone's being. It's like when you make fun of an autistic person, you always do it from a place of well-meaning and common spirit. At least I do, because I'm part autistic.
Well, I think, but that's the tenor of the time, is that media has atomized us, or quantified emotions in such a way as to make everyone sort of part autistic in a way. Mm-hmm. I'm obviously getting everything wrong, but
well, that's interesting. I mean, kind of.
There is an explosion of pseudo-autistic representation in media. Like the example that first comes to mind is Sherlock on the BBC Sherlock. It's implied that, Sherlock is a fucking asshole because he doesn't understand. I don't understand human emotions. I'm just a detective machine who looks at little details and, people or the idea that being autistic gives you insight or superpowers or something like that. That's like a thing that came up in a lot of media over the past years. And I think that's because more and more people relate to the idea of sort of being introverted and having your own little world and people not being able to understand you. People relate on this very sort of superficial social way.
Yeah, we all live in our own internal world now.
Yeah. In the same way that you can relate to a depressed character even though you don't actually have depression, you have had something in your life that resembles depression enough that you can, tack your own experiences on. And this Sia movie is a really advanced case of that, where this woman who is not very, very not autistic is like, I just felt myself so hard in the plight of these people, They really have it tough. And as Sia, I have it tough because I also don't like making eye contact with people. That's why I wear the wigs. That's why I wear all my fancy wigs. And so I get it.
She has the hair going, she has her bangs covering her eyes all the time.
Yeah, that's Sia's claim to fame is because she's, I feel like the move there would have just been to say that, no, I am autistic, and then gotten some, hack doctor to say, Sia can do it because she is autistic.
Yeah, you gotta go that. You gotta immediately, run for cover. Run for cover, Sia. Say something's wrong with you. Say something's wrong. Say something bad happened to you.
I got the Kanye brain disease. Kanye gave me his brain disease.
You're saying Kanye? I thought you were saying cognac.
Cognac
gave me brain disease.
Kanye West marketing my new cognac. Cognac.
No matter how far we progress down the era of constant victimhood, alcoholics never get to get some of that social currency. No. So as Mitch Hedberg said, alcoholics are they're the only disease you can get yelled at for having, but it's gonna always be like that. Damn it, Mitch, you have cancer.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can get angry at some people. If you have a friend that does nothing but smokes nothing but cigarettes, you can get sort of angry at him for having cancer, but not really. You threw away your life cigarette, Johnny. You're done. Well, this is what you get. This is what you deserve.
Yeah.
No, I've never reacted like that to someone getting cancer.
I don't think I ever would. I hope nothing ever happens en masse to Marvel fans so that they can claim victimhood, because then they would really be insufferable.
Yeah, imagine. like a crazed DC fan shoots up a Marvel convention.
Yeah, and then they're like, "You can't talk to me that way. I'm a Marvel fan."
I got the idea from the Snyder Cut.
Oh, yeah, there's new Zack Snyder is being allowed. Can you believe this? Zack Snyder is being allowed to make movies still? I was shocked.
Why? What's bad about Zack Snyder? He makes money.
No,
a lot is bad about Zack Snyder.
That's the thing. I thought his movies didn't really make much money, and that everyone hated. Bank. Really?
Oh, yeah, and they have this crazy dedicated audience.
I think your mic messed up.
No, I'm just getting a phone call.
Oh, is it, who is it, the bank? They want their money? Is it the bank? Do they want their money?
No, it's my lawyer. He's telling me that I lost custody. So it's a good day.
You lost custody of your dick and balls?
I lost custody of my dick and balls. Yeah, I lost my dick and balls.
Yeah.
The divorce.
Every fucking divorce case ends the same way. You lose custody of your dick and balls. Am I right, guys? Am I right, fellas?
Yeah. Look, Alex, I got you a great deal. But the long and short of it, you got to lose your dick and balls, okay?
You're losing your dick and balls on this one, pal.
You get to keep the dog. You get to keep half the car. You got to lose the dick and balls, okay?
You're losing your dick and balls and your house. So, that's how
Do I get custody? Can I see the dick and balls on weekends? No. Sole custody.
Can I see it on weekend?
I guess so. We're now a men's rights podcast.
Hell yeah. They're just trying to take our dick and balls away, and then...
They're just trying to take our dicks and balls away, you know? We used to have the dicks and balls. The detachable penis song by King Missile was prescient. It was prescient, bro.
I haven't thought about King Missile in a while. What a fun joke band.
They had other songs.
Yes, but most of the songs were bits.
He became a lawyer, the guy. Eventually.
Really?
Yep.
Great.
There's other music lawyers. The only other one I can think about is the guy from the Vandals. I think Dave Quackenbush was No, not Dave Quackenbush. One of the other guys from the Vandals was a lawyer musician and used his lawyer funds to fund his puerile pop punk band, which I think is the dream of many of us.
Oh, speaking of pop punk, did you check out the new Weezer album that came out this January?
Is it supposed to be something?
It's not. Well, it's a new Weezer album. It's not good. They got a whole fucking orchestra this time.
They're supposed to... Didn't they have some occasionally good albums in the past, 7 years of releasing? No. Weezer's very much like... If I were to compare them to anything, it's like The Simpsons, where you remember, like, the first bit of it, and it's really nostalgic and good, and when you return to it, it still holds up. And then just, like, 20 years of shambling nothingness.
Yeah, I don't understand why they didn't break up. They really should have broken up, like, after their third album, frankly.
Who listens to Who's the audience for Weezer?
I don't know, but their new music it's very weird. Because it's got an orchestra now. But it's maybe the worst sounding production of an orchestra I've ever heard. I had no idea it was possible. I would encourage you to check it out because it sounds like garbage. The message is cool for the first one. Rivers Cuomo doesn't like that everyone's a phone zombie. So he's like, no, everyone's too much on their phones, no. So that's nice. I kind of was like,
everyone's too much on their phones, and they're not fixating on Japanese women like Rivers Cuomo. Me.
Well, now that's another funny thing is he now looks like a Japanese woman, like a middle-aged Japanese woman. It's very funny. So he's still singing about 14-year-old problems, but now it's kind of like Yoko Ono's doing it.
Yeah. And it's also weird that I feel like Weezer's subject matter hasn't, I thought they'd be talking about dad stuff now, like they're all dads and such.
I'm not certain he ever had a stable relationship long enough to become one. I don't know.
Those half Japanese girls did it to him every time.
Well, the refrain on his new single is, "I don't know what's wrong with me." It's like a lot.
Well, they took his dick as balls in the divorce.
They took your dick and your balls, Rivers, probably after the Blue album, because that's when things started to go downhill.
Yeah. You don't like Pinkerton? Pinkerton's good.
No, I don't like Pinkerton, actually.
Okay.
Only
that's fair enough.
Yeah. And my household growing up was a big Weezer household.
You mean just the Blue album, though?
Well, yeah, but my sister bought that when I was small, and then listened to it constantly.
Yeah. It's good music for kids. It's very easy to understand music. Because, there's just big chunky chords. It's not ever dissonant, really.
Wow. Okay, so did you know he's released 2 albums in Japanese with someone named Scott Murphy? He's released 2 Japanese language albums. He's becoming a Japanese person.
He's turning Japanese. As the song says. Although turning Japanese, I'm informed, is a racist metaphor for when you orgasm and your eyes squint.
Yep, that's what it is.
Everyone, that's a hit song.
Well, okay,
that title.
That is exactly what is said on VH1's I Love the 80s. I do not know if it is true, because I know where that comes. Yeah. That fact comes from VH1 I Love the 80s, so it's like Ian Michael Black, like his demented mind's funny idea of a joke. What a funny guy he is, Michael Ian Black.
Michael Ian Black, didn't he do that fucking weird shit with Meghan McCain?
I don't know what's wrong with me. What weird?
Yeah, he's weirdly active on political lib Twitter. Him and like Jen Kirkman and big comedian libs. Who are other big comedian libs that run their mouths constantly and have bad takes about stuff and like will appear on Steven Crowder and shit?
Wait, the libs who go on Crowder?
I saw Michael Ian Black on Crowder once.
Yeah,
and it seemed to be like, why would anyone go on Crowder, first of all? What do you have to gain?
Well, Michael Ian Black goes on anything because he's a fame
whore.
He's a fame whore. Sorry, I'm just looking up Rivers Cuomo's wife.
Are you saying those old The State reruns aren't paying off? Those Stella reruns aren't paying off?
I'm looking up
getting a lot of residuals from Stella.
I'm just looking up Rivers Cuomo's wife. He's actually married to a Japanese businessman.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's a real otaku.
Yeah, and he's got to wear a kimono and make sushi every day.
Yeah, he's got memoirs of a geisha.
Yeah.
Himself for these people. That's what the next Weezer album's going to be about.
Yeah,
Memoirs of a Cuomo.
I think it would be really funny to take Ghost Dog Way of the Samurai and redo it. Take out all the RZA stuff and put just Weezer and Rivers Cuomo in it. I'm Ghost Dog.
I would thought you would what's that? What, Lone Wolf and Cub? But instead of Samurai and his young child, it's Shinzo Abe, former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, and wait, is he current Prime Minister?
No,
Japanese?
He stepped down. He's gone.
Okay, he's gone. And Rivers Cuomo, but Rivers Cuomo's the cub. You know, he's in the backpack where former Japanese President Shinzo Abe is cutting down folks.
Yeah,
who
Ghost
else is a Japanese? Ken Watanabe.
What do you think of Ghost Dog?
Is a good movie.
It's old now.
Jim Jarmusch. Yeah. Do you like Jim Jarmusch, or is he too wry?
Well, this wasn't a very wry. The only thing that was wry about this movie were the Italian mobsters, who were very funny. Because they're like parody level Italian mobsters.
Yeah, but as The Sopranos showed us, Italian mobsters are basically just like that. You can't parody Italian mobsters, because if you're saying, "Hey, I go down to the store, I pick up a big that's accurate.
That's what they're really like all the time.
That's what they're all like all the time. You can spot them a mile away. That's why the Mafia ended. They were too flamboyant.
Mm-hmm. What were we talking about before Weezer? No, I don't remember.
Sia's music.
Oh yeah, and maybe Meghan McCain.
And maybe Meghan McCain and Michael Ian Black. Well, because Michael Ian Black did that thing with Meghan McCain, who's now also doing a "Why Can't We Just Get Along" style show with Van Jones, where we're a lib and someone who is presented in lib media as a moderate Republican, even though Meghan McCain's, if you investigate her policies, I guess she pro-choice? I think she's probably pro-choice. She's pro-gay and pro-choice, but she also likes, the vicious anti-taxation and anti-regulation of the Republican Party, which pays its dividends in places like Texas, we're seeing.
Oh, Texas. Poor Texas. Suffering. Although, they deserve it. Everyone there. Everyone who lives there deserves what they get because they live there. And everyone knows that if you don't move, it's your own damn fault.
Yeah, just move. That's the classic refrain.
I moved.
Yeah.
Hell.
Yeah, fuck you.
Fuck you, Texans.
Fuck you, Texans.
Hope it's cold.
That's what you get for living in stupid state.
Yeah.
That's what you get for living in Longhorn. And, the only Longhorns are in your ass
and
now,
California,
Texas.
too. Mm-hmm. I say the same thing to Californians. That's what you get.
Baby's on fire. Leaving Texas in the water.
Nice. Brian Eno. Does he live in California? Is he English? He's English. He lives in fucking...
He's English, yeah.
Oh, he lives in Liverpool or Kidney Bean or whatever it is.
He lives in a hamlet with only other wealthy, creative bald men.
He probably lives where Richard D. James lives. Just like...
Yeah.
Scotland, in the middle of nowhere.
It's a little hobbit village, yeah.
Yeah. All the cool musicians live in a hobbit village in Scotland.
Yeah, and that's where Adam Curtis goes to edit his movies.
Yeah. Man.
But, like, inside of the whimsical hobbit buildings are just, like, industrial rot. And, kids hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, so the Texas thing, you said you wanted... Pre-show, you said you wanted... Well, your video cut out for a sec. Anyway,
my video cut out.
For the topic of Texas, you said you wanted to...
I like saying pre-show because it reminds me of pre-cum. Sorry.
Yeah, great. Okay.
Texas, it's a horrible disaster.
I don't like
a horrible disaster. Which is, I think what's interesting to me about the horrible disasterness of this Texas thing, I mean, is a lot of the flooding that's occurring is because the pipes aren't winterized. And, of course, why would you winterize the fucking pipes when you live in Texas?
Yeah.
Even though, as people have pointed out, catastrophic cold snaps in Texas aren't as infrequent as you'd think.
Yeah, it's like once every 10 years or so, I think.
Yeah, that's enough to, I feel, this relatively cheap form of insurance. And it's reminding me of other, catastrophic disasters that people ultimately pay for when the government lets them down. One of them is, of course, Grenfell Towers, right? Mm-hmm. Which was... so many people died in that fucking building fire for what could have been just like a few $1,000s in insulation. Not insulation, anti-fire. You know what I mean. Anti-fire protection. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the fancy word for it is called.
Make fire put out.
Make fire put out foam.
Put out fire.
Yeah, the British government, the Thatcherite government could have had some make fire put out foam. And they were like, no. It is not the imperative. When is a fire ever going to happen in this entirely wooden building?
Yeah, well, the thing about Texas is, like, it happens in Texas and it happens in California. Mm-hmm. Those are pretty different governments, I think. Mm-hmm. So what's going on here? Why are the Democrat state and the Republican state, why can't they have reliable electricity?
Well, Texas is on it's on its own grid,
yeah, it's
right?
On its own, it has its own entire system. It's like when both proposed systems aren't working great, I'm just kind of like, well, fuck, maybe electricity is pretty hard to do. I think that's something that not enough people who are complaining about this realize, is that electricity is hard to maintain in a country of this size, with the amount of rural people and the amount of cities. We have to look at China for a comparable country, basically.
Yeah, let's just build a gigantic dam which destroys 1,000 villages, and we'll be good.
I mean, yeah, China has a dam that if it breaks, like that they rely upon for electricity, that if it breaks will flood, like, and kill 30 million people, and we thought that might happen this summer. So I don't know. It's hard. Texas is it's just a freak weather occurrence, and it is not clear to me that it makes any sense to spend $1 billion, which is what the natural gas company would need to spend to winterize their equipment, without the government forcing them. They're not gonna. The market won't. Yeah. The market is clearly not gonna force them to prepare for that.
No. Why would they? Yeah. As long as you can, but that's freedom,
That's freedom.
The thing about Texas is it's
free to leave.
It's not like well, what's interesting to me about this is it would be more cost effective in the long run to put the regulation in. But because you're in this state that's so ideologically committed on all levels, social, political, governmental, to anti-regulation, that you just, can't force it through. Unless all of, like the soy people from Austin expand into a powerful voting bloc.
Well, they might. I mean, Texas is gaining a lot of population from people from other states. There's like a stereotype going around that like most Texas voters aren't even weren't born in Texas, which is pretty interesting. I didn't know that was going on. I can't wait for the 2020 census to finally drop, Can't wait.
It's going to be a lit census.
Oh, shit. My dad told me that. It was like, Dad, you're the nerdiest guy around. He's like, I can't wait for it to drop. I want to see how many congressional seats New York has lost. He was like, I've been tracking it the past 3 censuses. So I'm like, that's 30 years you've been watching with glee as New York loses population. It's very funny.
Well,
because that's what's been happening for 30 years is New York loses population and Texas gains it, and then they get more congressional seats.
It's very cold. Upstate is very cold. All the population loss is from upstate and all those industrial, post-industrial towns.
Yeah, New York City is still growing. It's still getting immigrants.
Oh, yeah, and Long Island.
Yeah. But no, the Americans who have been American for more than one generation stop having kids.
Yeah, except for the lovely town of Curios Joel.
I think that they actually consider themselves not like I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. I don't want to go there. But I would feel like if you talk to them, they would be like, "What? What do you mean? We're citizens of America second to being like, I don't know,
citizens of this orthodox."
They're like they're like theocrats, or they believe in theocracy, right? So I'm not.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do they recognize? Do they vote? Do they recognize our government?
They do. Of course they vote. They're very politically organized because it directly impacts their ability to live how they want. But yeah, they basically, it's not worship is the wrong word but their whole community is based around the legacy of Rabbi Joel Teitelbaum and his progeny and various interpretations of the Torah. But the thing why I say Curios Joel is because their population growth is rapid and crazy.
Yeah, but they're small. That's like 10,000 people.
Yeah, but if it continues at this rate,
well, that's what they're doing that because they have to get the numbers back up. The numbers are low.
Yeah.
But I'm just reminded of those Orthodox Jews in Israel who don't recognize the government of Israel because it's not a theocracy. I like those guys. They're OG. They're cool.
Oh, man. Man. And the other thing that the Texas stuff reminds me of, in terms of, you make this thing, which at the time seems costly, but is actually very cheap compared to the catastrophic disaster that ensues if you don't do the thing. So it got me thinking of Chernobyl, which I'm watching again, because Chernobyl, weirdly, has become a comfort show for me.
That's weird.
Yeah. And the fact that it's just a series of decisions to make things slightly cheaper, just to cut corners all the way around, all of these things eventually add up, and the confluence of several of these corner cutting decisions adding up is catastrophic disaster.
The catastrophic disaster was that they had a one-party system and were not able to have someone to blame it on. That was the actual catastrophic disaster for the Soviet Union.
Well, they eventually blamed it on Dyatlov. But as the series points out, what is the price of lies? What is the price of lies? The price of lies is apparently a lot of irradiated Ukrainians.
I see. They were so close. They should have just had a red Communist Party and a blue Communist Party, and then when anything bad happens, you can just blame the one that's in power, and then switch.
That's the true strength of the two-party system. It can shirk responsibility more effectively.
It's pretty, because that's what you have here. We have Gavin Newsom blaming Trump for the wildfires, and you have Greg Abbott blaming Biden for the Green New Deal that destroyed Texas's energy system.
I mean, that is the feature of the American version of hypernormalization, where you have two parties and they tell you what they're doing and they blame each other, and there's enough transparency to make you think that, the government is less dictatorial than, say, China or Russia or some other country like that. But it's not really, because they're just they're giving you enough information and giving you enough frame of mind to pin responsibility on somebody such that you can never really escape the system or think about it more critically or want to actually dismantle it. Mm-hmm. Which is, bravo. I think that is really the true strength of the two-party system. Right. It's beautiful.
If the Republican Party did not already exist, it would be necessary to create one.
Yes. Well, that's my stupid line. My stupid glib line is the Democratic Party is just the PR wing for the Republican Party. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or it's good cop, bad cop. They're still both cops at the end of the day. They're still trying to get Cigarette Johnny's information from you. There's you're not gonna win with these people.
Man, I think about being a prison guard. That'd be a fun job.
Yeah, Oz made it look great. You get to be Edie Falco.
You get to do all kinds of mind games with people.
Yeah. You get to sexually manipulate people.
Am I going to bring you your food today, Jaywalker? That's why I call that guy Jaywalker, because he's in jail for jaywalking.
That's harsh.
Yeah, it's like all the nicknames people get are for the crimes that they committed. Call that guy Murder Joe. Yeah, that's rapey. That's Rapey Ben over there.
That's Rapey Ben?
Yeah, that's his nickname. That would be the best.
Don't mess with old Hank Liver Snatcher.
Yeah, so Falun Gong, they do liver snatching, right?
They get their livers snatched.
I thought they did liver snatching. They get their livers. How'd I get that wrong?
I don't think they're doing counter liver snatching. I think they're just getting their liver snatched. Well, live organ transplants. Yes. Live organ transplants.
It's making me hungry.
Live vivisection. That would be funny if someone, you get a bunch of freaks at the medical college. They have the surgery viewing platforms, and for some reason they advertise it as live vivisection when they really meant live ! Vivisection. And then you have a bunch of freaks with popcorn coming in.
Yeah. They stopped selling popcorn at the hospital theater in the 80s.
Nah, you can't smoke in there anymore either.
Yeah.
This is what regulation gets you. It gets you nowhere.
Well, hey, too much regulation's bad. Too little regulation's bad.
Yeah. Also, the fucking man, Chernobyl. It's crazy, just the confluence of various fuck-ups that happened, and how, definitely Dyatlov was responsible, but everybody was responsible. It was like a collective failure of the Soviet way to distribute information that was really at fault, because no one had been warned that touching the AZ5 button could actually, if there's like an overheating a core, it could actually fix the rods in place, and the tips of the graphite rods are actually supercharged the reaction because they're not made of graphite. They're made of some other material that supercharges them. And this had been omitted. Like, people knew this could happen in DPRK reactors, and it was omitted because Soviets could not admit that, their technology was inferior, better Soviet technology. But it was that, but also the fact that they were running this test, and that because of an unexpected 10-hour delay, the night shift had come in, and it was made up of these wet behind the ears 25-year-olds, where if the day shift had performed this test, it might not have gone this way. And it was, being overseen by, 3 men three overseers who were stressed out about their promotions, which is why they were being extra careless with this, because they were just wanting to get it done. And so they, were incentivized poorly by the party mechanisms. And just this confluence of these amazing fuck-ups and factors and, terrible incentivizations for people in a system that created this monumental and horrific disaster.
Or the Americans did it.
It was Americans.
You ever think about that? You ever think that maybe the Americans hacked Chernobyl?
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think I'm a real true believer here. I think the Americans fucked with Chernobyl and it was fine.
Yeah. I like the idea of the Russian equivalent of MSNBC saying Americans are hacking Russian media and telling us to, vote for Kasparov.
Yeah, they did that with Ukraine. I mean, that's what they said was Ukraine revolution. So Putin was like, "This is Hillary Clinton doing it."
I really like the idea of a Russian version of Rachel Maddow.
Yeah,
it is me, Rachel Madovsky.
It's not
American, terrible American.
They have
hacking.
that. They have that.
Okay.
They do have that, very much. Putin's created a two-party system of theater for that, just to do. He's copying our system. He's a genius in that.
Well, that is like in hypernormalization. They talk about Vladislav Surkov, right?
Yeah.
Who we've talked about on the show before, Putin's propaganda minister, and that's the illusion of choice is really more important than the actual ability to choose.
What Putin needs to do is figure out how to disappear and still have power. That's what that would be my goal. Would be like, and now I will make myself disappear. And it's like a Job magic trick.
Everyone's dream is to pull the strings from behind the curtain, I guess. Every weirdo's dream.
Yeah.
Not me. I want to be famous, baby.
I want to pull
my name and lights.
Yeah, I want to pull the strings from behind the curtain. Never. No one will never know.
I will be the puppet master, and you will all be my puppets. Be afraid of the puppet master. For I should put strings on you and make you dance, dance, dance to the music. Don't defy the puppet master.
I'm thinking about going to a PTA meeting. Like, so what do you do? I'm the puppet master. I pull all the strings.
I'm the puppet master. I pull all the strings.
It's like,
okay.
You want to volunteer?
Can you bring the high C for next week?
Yeah,
the puppet master does not bring high C.
Oh, the puppet master will go to Costco. The puppet master will get the high C. Yeah, no, he will. I'll do it. I'm just gonna.
Oh yeah, the puppet master. Yeah, I'm the puppet master. The puppet master will provide all the comestibles for the PTA meeting. Little Johnny's been acting out. That is not characteristic of the puppet master, for I control all, and I will control little Johnny. I use Johnny too much. Maybe little Johnny eventually grew up and became Cigarette Johnny.
Delicious. A delicious transformation.
That was what the puppet master devised all along. Give cigarettes to Cigarette Johnny when he was young. That is how he became what he is now. Because I am the puppet master, controlling all.
Did you see that with the Texas thing, they stopped exporting any natural gas, and so therefore in Mexico 5 million people lost power?
But we don't care about that, I mean, they're used to doing without.
Well, I mean, Mexico gets 96% of its natural gas from America, and almost all Mexican homes rely on natural gas. So when Texas decided to stop exporting any natural gas, it really fucked them over. And it's made the president vow to make Mexico energy independent, which
AMLO,
is not great for our economy. And I really don't think we can let Mexico do that, can we?
Yeah, you got to get everyone sucking at the gas teat. That was Canada's whole plan, but that's upending.
Haha. We win. Now we're going to make you suck our gas teat. Yeah. That was great.
Oh, my God. The Keystone XL pipeline is going. Just because Justin Trudeau, Doesn't know how to lay pipe. Boom.
Boom.
Roast. Can't fuck his wife. Impotent in the bed. Sophie hasn't gotten it for weeks. She's fucking the governor general.
Wow.
That's why she got fired, because Julie Payette ate pussy too good on Sophie Trudeau.
Does Justin Trudeau have another term up? Can he run again after this? You see term limit?
Yeah, sure. We don't have term limits.
You don't have term limits? Wow.
No, we don't have term limits. But traditionally, like, the most a prime minister has lasted is 10 years.
Okay.
Except for Trudeau, who lasted for a while, but there was a break in between. The original Trudeau.
Didn't his dad do 4 terms as prime minister?
Yeah, something crazy like that. 4 non-consecutive terms. Which, man, in my most recent rewatch of The Simpsons, I found my favorite Simpsons joke that I didn't understand as a kid, which was when Grandpa says, Grover Cleveland spanked me on 2 non-consecutive occasions.
Yeah.
I didn't get that as a kid, but now my heart is filled with joy because, these Harvard people understand.
Do you know if Apu ever sang to the tune of Owner of a Lonely Heart, owner of the Quickie Mart?
No.
Owner of the Quickie Mart.
There you go.
That would be a fun one. But they can't do
that.
He
does sing Dream Police.
Can they do that anymore? Can they have Apu?
Did they retire? I think they did retire Apu, or they are looking into getting Indian actors to play him.
Oh. Well, great.
What's less offensive? I don't know. Who can navigate this bullshit? Just tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Indians, tell me what to do. I'll do whatever you want me to do. Want me to suck your dick? I'll do it. I'll Mitt Romney over here.
You want me to discriminate by caste? I will do it. Just tell me what to do.
Tell me who is untouchable, and I will not touch them, okay?
I will not suck their dicks.
I will not suck their dicks at all.
A fun thing a listener asked me to bring up was the reply all controversy. Did you see that? There's a reply all controversy. Yeah, the podcast known as Reply All. One of the main guy had to step down because he was being anti-union and discriminatory and like trying to stop a union from happening at their media company, and was also trying to stop it from becoming more diverse. He's like,
that's weird.
Yeah.
What is this podcast? Who do they appeal to? Is it in the leftist media sphere?
It's somewhat in the leftist media sphere, but it's like tech. It's like a tech entertainment, and so one of their most popular podcasts is like it's like about a guy who goes on this long journey to find the person in India who's scamming him. And they like go to India and like search for the company that's doing all these scams online. But
okay, so they do gimmicky tech journalism and stuff like that.
Yeah, basically, like they do a podcast about tech stuff. But superficially.
But apparently,
I don't think they know anything about tech stuff.
One of the guys is a union buster?
The main guy, like the host, was trying to prevent a union from forming, and was also trying to prevent them from hiring like a more diverse group of people.
Was it just he didn't want to specifically? Did they want to do like not that it makes a difference, but it's like. Some companies will do a thing where they implement a diversity policy, and was that what he was railing against?
Yes,
was he specifically saying they had they had just brought 3 black people in a room, and he just said no?
Yeah, they didn't. I don't, because I think it's a whole media company, and there's several podcasts that are part of it. But his podcast is the biggest one for the media company, so he holds undue sway, and he didn't want anyone added to his team without his approval. And so I think he was worried they were going to fuck with his group of people by forcing him to have new people. But this guy's name is PJ Vogt. I mean, he's a real.
Oh, I've heard of this.
He's
person.
A real Pod John. He's like a Pod John guy.
He's a lib, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, he would be a Pod John guy. I mean, he's one of the he probably.
Where have I heard this name before? Wasn't he on Mad TV? No, I'm thinking of a different person. His podcaster is his profession. What a fucking prick. Okay, I kid. He also Gimlet Media. Okay. Reception. Oh, it's won a Shorty Award and a Webby Award. Some sort of award. It now lists on the Wikipedia page for Reply All, former co-host PJ Vogt.
Yeah, he had to step down. I mean, he was just being an asshole and like trying to prevent a union from organizing, and I'm not. Let's see. Oh, and he said he wanted to preserve the company's status quo in response to complaints that it lacks diversity. That's basically what he did. So, how the mighty have fallen. Now we can move one ladder rung up in the ever constant churn of cancellation. Mm-hmm. It's amazing.
Yeah. We're going to do a series on House of Decline about just scamming Indian people. Mm-hmm. We're going to take the opposite route of, we're going to specifically do...
Yeah, we're going to come in from the back. We're going to come in from the back on the whole cancel culture thing. Well, we're going to be canceled so many times that it's like going up the butt, you know, and then coming out the mouth. And the mouth is richness and famity, renown, if you will.
It's very easy. I have a comically short intestine, actually, so it's easy to navigate.
It's not the only thing you
have.
The
tricky part is the stomach acid, which is why you should wear a condom.
That's not the only thing you have that's comically short. What is this?
Are you talking about?
What is this? Come down now?
Are you talking about? Are you talking about my small pin? Are you talking about my little pin?
Are you talking about my small penis?
It's my little pin. You don't like my little pin. It's like it'll prick you right where you needed my little pin. It does the job effectively. It don't make a woman come, but why they need to come anyway? They already got a good life. They're women. They get treated very nice. You know, they tell you, oh, honey, you're so beautiful. I like to be called beautiful. They don't want to call me beautiful. But I got a little pin. And that's what I use. Mm-hmm. And it's never let me down before. This is all I'm saying.
The next thing that's happening in Texas is that the natural gas companies are, like, jacking up the price of their gas now because they're apparently allowed to do it.
Price.
And not only natural gas, like electric companies, like the price for energy has skyrocketed, and so people are getting insane bills.
That's monstrous.
That I don't understand. Like, that's some Enron shit. This 63-year-old Army veteran says he got a $16,000 electric bill.
Well, that's what you get for killing Vietnamese children.
And it's because his electricity didn't go out during the storm. He's just like normal. He's just like trying to have a normal day. Like, oh, if I turn this light on,
I bet he thought he was real lucky. Yeah. Oh, that's all my neighbors are.
That's another charge on my credit card every time I switch the light on. So we're gonna just sit in the dark and try not to have a flashback.
Oh man, loud noises are a lot more noticeable when you don't have the TV on. Oh man, I feel so bad for Texas. We talked about it earlier, and of course we were joking, but there has been a certain type of person is like, that's what you get, Texas.
Yeah,
that's what you get. Or it's like you know that Twitter ghoul Charlotte Clymer? Mm-hmm. I don't know what else she does, but all I know her is from Twitter, and she apparently has some sort of high government position, or she's involved with the government in some way, but is known for ghoulish lib takes, and including like one where it's like, all of Virginia is out of power, and she goes sips coffee, and the implication being like they deserved it because they didn't vote for Hillary or something like that.
Right.
And so there's been a lot of those types of vindictive takes, which is a very interesting instinct to have, you know, to the idea of people are suffering and you go, good.
Well, I do that, but I try to do it evenly, you know?
Yeah.
I try to, everyone deserves a little suffering in this life, you know?
Yeah,
makes you
but
appreciate the good times.
I wouldn't want some snot nose to fucking revel in my misfortune.
Yeah, the thing about you gotta just have a Christ-like attitude, and just sort of say, whatever, man. Be like, why don't I modernize it a little bit? A dude-like attitude. Be like the dude. Have a dude.
Just have a Christ-like attitude and hang out with whores all the time.
Abide. How about everyone needs to abide a little bit more. Just spend some time looking at a wall, thinking about the paint that dried there. Do that 10 minutes a day. You don't have to call it meditation. Just look at a wall for a while. Calm down.
Mm-hmm.
Quit trolling.
If you masturbate in the tub, easy cleanup.
Oh.
That's all I'm saying. Just abide. It's just relax. Let it wash over you. Continue. Realize that there is nothing that you can do individually to make the world a better place. So just make the world a worse place. You can individually make the world a worse place, though, which is good.
How have you made the world a worse place lately? Let's get real honest on this show.
How have I made I cut someone off in a convenience store the other day, and they were very flustered at me.
What do you mean?
They didn't reprimand me, but I was concocting all these scenarios in my head to riposte against them should they wish to.
You mean you cut them in line?
Tell me I was rude.
You cut them in line?
No, I didn't cut them in line. I was like, there's very narrow aisles in this convenience store, and so I wanted to get ahead in order to buy my packets of Diet Cokes. And
in case they were there to buy the last ones. I've done that. I cut people off going to the grocery. I'm like, nope. Last time all the pizza sauce was sold out. You cannot go ahead of me.
And the fella he didn't like how close I didn't think I made physical contact with him, but he still seemed annoyed that I had passed by him without first alerting myself, even though I said excuse me and passed by with air still between our bodies. But he made some sort of snide remark to the lady running the deli counter, even though he didn't engage me.
Oh, man.
And I was waiting. I was waiting for him to say, fuck you. Maybe your huge ass shouldn't, take up the whole fucking aisle, Morty. Yeah. And but no, it never happened.
Yeah, well, I made the world a worse place this week because I drove by a horrible car accident, like late at night. No one else was around. I just kept going. Didn't really have anything. Didn't really have anything going on. I was just out joyriding. It was like, oh, look at that, an accident. There was like an entire family of 18 people and a box of kittens, all just like within 1 inch of getting enough help from me to survive, but they didn't, and they all died.
Well, It's if you're doing the trolley problem, you can't switch the trolley. You just got to let it go.
Yeah.
Because, if you...
Our former guest, Kramer, friend of the pod, had the best take on the trolley problem, which is everyone in the trolley problem thinking, I'm the most attractive person in this trolley problem. That's real insight into the human condition.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah, it's true. That's ethics are less important than if you're hot.
Yeah. As Adam Curtis would be like, and then the world reached 7 billion narcissists in 1999.
Oh my! Where are all my dour documentarians? I feel like Errol Morris is too upbeat.
Yeah, we need. Ken Burns.
Michael Moore is very upbeat in the end.
Ken Burns did Vietnam, which was great, and then he did country music, which was like the first 3 episodes were good, and then the rest you can throw away. But we need Ken Burns to tackle something like a little darker,
Ken Burns is Sonic the Hedgehog.
Ken Burns on the coronavirus would be pretty fun.
Ken Burns. What would be the most inappropriate Ken Burns documentary?
Yeah. Opium Wars.
Opium Wars. Ken
Colonialization. Colonialism. Maybe.
Ken Burns does colonial. Ken Burns does Paris. Ken Burns is Paris is Burning. Doing ball culture. Just doing a lot of still scrolling shots of Queens.
Yeah, Ken Burns HIV.
And only interviewing Wynton Marsalis.
Yes, Ken Burns on
reason.
HIV, and it's just Wynton Marsalis.
Yeah.
That would be so annoying.
Now, the thing about HIV is it's like a metaphor for America.
Dude, I don't get it. It's like Ken Burns on the Holocaust. Here's Wynton Marsalis. You see, the Jews, when I play the saxophone...
He plays the trumpet.
Okay.
Branford plays the saxophone.
Okay, whatever. He doesn't. I don't listen to anything that comes out of Wynton Marsalis, so I don't know what instrument he plays.
Oh dang! Oh snap!
Yeah,
we become a Wynton Marsalis hating podcast now. He is bad, though.
Okay, you are the king of hating Wynton Marsalis. You basically graduated in hating Wynton Marsalis.
My teacher, my professors also hated Wynton Marsalis.
You really graduated with the degree in fucking with Wynton Marsalis. I was there for that concert, and I read the cartoons.
But it's important to remember that Wynton Marsalis was essentially responsible for redlining and destroying a whole community of jazz musicians that he didn't like. Yeah. Like you couldn't get the good gigs if Wynton Marsalis and Stanley Crouch said you weren't good enough.
Yeah, and then the coronavirus almost killed the Lincoln Center, and then it fucking didn't. So, real shame. We almost killed all the bad arts venues in America. Then My Morning Jacket and Chuck Schumer got together to revive all the venues.
What a great combination.
Yeah.
We're going to the festival. We're going to see My Morning Jacket and Chuck Schumer.
Well,
the Philadelphia Arts Festival.
The only band that matters, Phish, runs their own music festival, and they do their own thing. So we don't have to pay attention to the Lincoln Center anymore, because Phish does a whole festival in like Massachusetts or something, Vermont or wherever. I don't know. Sorry to our Phish friends, listeners who love him. I mean them. I love that guy.
It really sucked. Really sucked when they brought in Wynton Marsalis in order to curate the Phish Fest. Why did they do that? I don't understand.
They probably did.
No.
We're going to get an angry email.
Ken Burns is Phish.
We're going to get one
Phish is like a metaphor for America.
Yeah. Oh, Ken Burns on Phish.
That I would like to see Ken Burns' Phish documentary. That would actually be incredible.
Yes, Wynton Marsalis talking about Phish. That's all he knows how to do. Country music. Wynton Marsalis talking about country music, being like, it's basically the same
is Wynton Marsalis in the country music show?
Yes, to a very large degree.
Really?
Talking about how he plays the same stuff as country music and being like, well, it's really black people music. And
I was just joking about that. I haven't seen the country music documentary.
And he's like, it's really basically bebop, which is what I play, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, man. I think Wynton Marsalis' name was also... You remember that whole, we've gone too far with cancel culture petition that a bunch of academics and intelligentsia signed?
Yeah.
Including Margaret Atwood. And it was very sad to see a professor I liked at our school, Roger Berkowitz, sign it, too.
Oh, what? You like him?
Yeah, he was okay.
No. He's a dweeb. He's a big dweeb. He's
like
a big free speech dweeb.
He was personally nice to me.
Oh, okay.
Which is why I like him. I bet if I met a lot of these free speech dweebs, I bet I would like Sam Harris if I ever met him, because, he probably reminds me of a lot of my weird friends growing up. Maybe not Sam Harris. He seems unbearable. Who's like... I'd like Rogan if I talked to Rogan. But Berkowitz isn't comparable to Rogan.
That's funny. I mean, that would be funny to say, oh, man, I kind of wish I was still in college and I knew about Rogan. I would troll my professors with Rogan if I could still. Oh, that would be great. I'd be writing papers about Joe Rogan. I really wish I was at a school where I was allowed to give you an F.
You should go back to college to major in Rogan. You should go to a Texas college to major in Rogan.
I'd be like, I'm majoring in Roganomics, and they'd be like, Reaganomics, great. We love Reaganomics. I'm like, no, Roganomics. Okay, that's like how much pre-workout you eat before you lift weights. That's Roganomics.
Yeah, that's how much venison is in your fridge currently.
Oh, man. I just did a big shop, and now what we do is we go to the grocery store, and they put the groceries in our car, and then we drive them home. We don't go inside the grocery store because of the deadly coronavirus pandemic and its ever-increasing alphabet of variants.
Mm-hmm.
Newsflash.
That's the UK variant of coronavirus, but look, it is the French variant. It is the new corona. We are here to fuck you. Oh no, it's the Jamaican variant. Hey man, we're the corona. I'm not going to do a Jamaican accent.
When do you think you're going to get vaccinated? Because we are similar in that I don't think we're top of the list. I kind of feel like I might get vaccinated by like the end of summer. When do you think?
I haven't even looked up how to get vaccinated.
It's a shot. They give you a shot. It's not hard.
Yeah, but I don't know which building to go to get the shot.
They'll tell you.
Okay.
I haven't
gotten any notifications.
I mean, with Canada, I figure they'll probably just like contact you through the chip in your dick, right?
Yeah,
When they circumcise you, they put a chip in your dick.
See, in Canada, you have to get married to the state when you turn 18, and then they divorce you, and then they take your dick and balls, and then they
put a chip in it before they give it back.
They put a chip in your dick.
If you want your dick and balls back, hey, mate, if you want your dick and balls back, we're going to have to put a little chip in there, okay?
Yeah. This is why men's rights are such a big issue in Canada. Much love to Brother Dave Foley.
Yeah, Brother Peterson, Brother Foley.
And his ex-wife, Tabitha Southey.
Yeah.
Who is a prominent columnist who I agree with a lot of the time.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know that that's the woman who like had such a divorce settlement that it kind of ruined his finances forever.
Well, you can't really blame her for it. I mean, maybe you can, but you can really blame the law at the time was that your divorce settlement, the amount of alimony you pay is based on what you're currently making. And what Dave Foley was currently making was news radio money. He was literally at the top of his career when he got divorced. But after news radio, he was no longer making like a couple $100,000 a year just on news radio alone. So the alimony became too much.
And he eventually had to like become a sex worker, right? Like he
eventually resorted to Romneying.
Just putting stuff up his ass. I believe.
Yeah, being a street Romney.
Yeah. Romney has become slang for sex worker.
Yeah, Romney is just but a sex worker who will do anything,
That's cool.
Yeah. Oh man, that guy, he's a real Romney, He once what was it called? What was I heard today? The Slurp Ramp? Yeah, he was all over the Slurp Ramp.
Oh.
A Slurp Ramp is the park I go to is near the gay village the dog park that I go to is near the gay village in Toronto. So I talk a lot of old gays who talk about Toronto's gay scene as it was in the 70s. But I just found out today about a Slurp Ramp, which according to Urban Dictionary.
Hold on, before you do the definition of Slurp Ramp, before you hit that's a tasty definition. Do the old guys in Toronto, do they talk about like the high water mark that the splooge made in the 70s? Like if you look closely, you can see the high water mark.
You can see the high tide of spooge.
Yeah. Like that Hunter S. Thompson quote. Anyway,
AIDS changed all that.
What does Slurp Ramp mean?
It's a raised platform with holes which allows men to give or receive fellatio anonymously, found in a dark room with minimal lighting in establishments catering to kinky sex. And this entry, I want to point out, was written by Faggot Sex. That's the username, August 21st, 2008.
On Urban Dictionary?
on the Urban Dictionary.
Man,
so you know it's good.
They don't have any standards for usernames, I guess. Wow.
The examples are, I came thrice on the Slurp Ramp, and I swallowed 20 guys on the Slurp Ramp.
Huh. What does I was looking up, like, traffic calming devices, which use ramps sometimes. That was my initial guess, was it was going to be a traffic calming device.
Right.
I'm going to try to find a picture of a Slurp Ramp right now. I see first results are like a Japanese slurping turtle.
It looks like a cornhole board, but with dicks in it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I see it with the dicks hanging out. It's like multiple glory holes, but only half of a wall, so you can see the guy up there. He's like a really tall... And it's so that you don't have to... You can stand and give the...
Okay.
But everyone is standing. This is an amazing invention. More households should have this. Gentlemen?
So I'm looking at... So the most prominent bathhouse in Toronto is called Steamworks. Mm-hmm. But Steamworks is actually a chain of bathhouses. Mm-hmm. And I looked up Slurp Ramp, and I just want to go through some of the club features of the Steamworks bathhouse.
Okay.
I'm reading on their club features page. Secured lockboxes at our check-in counter for your valuables. Okay, that's pretty reasonable. Wet area with huge multi-man stainless steel whirlpool. Great.
Wow.
Public computer kiosk with free Wi-Fi throughout the club to surf the net. Doing a LAN party at Steamworks.
Yeah, so Steamworks looks to be like a sort of a hotbed of homosexual activity. Would you say that's true?
Sure is. Yeah, here we go. Here's the one that said, 3 public play areas, including Toronto's only Slurp Ramp, which is hard to believe. A public sling, 2 fuck benches, and a new confessional booth complete with glory holes. See, that's hot. That's hot. What are fuck benches? I get public sling. I know what all of those are, but I don't know what a fuck bench is specifically.
It's in the name.
Yeah, but what makes them fuck benches? Is it just a raised platform on which to fuck? In which case, aren't all benches fuck benches? Fuck it. I'm looking up what is a fuck bench.
But you probably would need to look up pictures of Steamworks. I still think the Slurp Ramp is a genius invention, though, because it is going to save a generation of young men's knees.
So I'm on a website now called gymsupport.com called... Oh, okay, I see what a fuck bench is. All right. It's specifically a bench that is designed to put you in a prone position.
Okay.
And, wow, these are it's very creative.
Okay. Let's do a live stream from Steamworks. I will come up and visit. I will sneak through the Canadian border. I will go by. I will swim across Lake Michigan, and then that process will embuffen my body so that I will be swole enough to blend in at Steamworks without any suspicion that I might be a heteronormative male, because I will have such big muscles.
Here. Well, yeah, that's
big.
Of course,
big muscles is a pretty dead giveaway these days.
That's a dead giveaway that you're a straightie.
Yeah, yeah, that you're definitely 100% straight if you have big muscles. 100% all the way. All
men with very large muscles are very straight.
Yes.
That is true.
Yeah, it is so true.
All men with very large muscles and who only wear leather straps and who got real stiff nipples, they're all straight. Emphasis on the real stiff nipples. We're not talking about like a half chub's nips.
No, like Cuomo level stiff.
Yeah. Rivers Cuomo or Andrew Cuomo?
Who can tell the difference, Sorry.
Yeah. Governor of New York, Rivers Cuomo.
God damn these citizens of New York. Do it to me every time. Oh, the red
give
ones.
Them nice instructions. Yeah.
He would be a really bad... Rivers Cuomo would be terrible if he was a president.
Yeah, lots of indecision, I imagine.
Well, his whole thing now is he hates, like, isolation and social media and phones.
Phones, man.
It's like you ever notice how everyone's glued to their friggin' phone these days? Oh, like, wouldn't they rather hear my shitty story? Or
Here, I shall tell you my shitty story. Stand back and you shall hear the song, the shitty song of my people.
Well, it's the time of the show where we talk about what video games we're playing. Yay!
Boom, 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 boom.
What video game? What are you doing? What video game?
Which videos? I'm revisiting Pokemon Sword again because I wanted something mindless. Utterly fucking mindless.
Is that the newest one?
Yeah. I mean, Pokemon isn't mindless if you play it at a high level, but I am not playing it at that level. You know, I don't care about EVs or IVs. The only EVs I care about are the ones that I can evolve into Vaporeon.
When you say a high level,
water/ice Pokemon.
When you say a high level, what do you mean?
Well, there are Pokemon tournaments where you can win actually a pretty decent amount of prize money. And it's actually very complicated once you get to Pokemon playing at that level, because there's basically naturally in every generation of Pokemon, some Pokemon are better than others, and tier lists on Smogon University have this sort of metagame that people adhere to. So basically you have to memorize every potential move list of all of those Pokemon, and you have to account for that in your own team of Pokemon and train them in such a way that you hit all the hidden objectives and how the Pokemon grow, so that you can make them powerful, but in the secret way that the developers I don't know. But there's a lot to it, especially with doubles as well. Pokemon doubles really changed the game.
So there's
for
competitive
how
professional
Pokemon
is used.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is what it, but yeah, Pokemon is a hard game at that level. It's a very difficult game at that level, and relies on like a lot of actual, strategy and skill, especially involving in anticipating your opponent's moves. And I actually respect the skill involved in a lot of professional Pokemon playing. A lot of it is luck-based, which also makes it exhilarating as well, because there's this element of anybody could win, really, no matter how well you strategize.
I found a blogger who has said that, in fact, in the world of competitive Pokemon, it is in fact an art. It is
art of Pokemon.
It is in fact an art to play Pokemon at a competitive level. Depending on what kind of trainer you are, if you're a dedicated trainer.
Is this Chris Chan? Have you found Chris Chan's blog?
This is a blog called Smog On. I guess they like...
Oh, this is Smogon University. So that Smogon University is like the Pokemon metagame website.
Right.
Where, they tier Pokemon into uber or overused or underused, depending on... The overused Pokemons are usually the ones that get used in tournament, because some Pokemon, i.e. like all the legendary Pokemon, are too powerful, so they're banned. So you end up just getting the OU or overused tier of Pokemon, which have usually they'll have one high stat and application.
Why don't they try to make all the Pokemon equal? What the fuck? Why are some Pokemon better than others?
Are you saying we need to communize the Pokemon?
So are the white Pokemon better? Is that what it is?
Yeah, the white Pokemon are more privileged.
That's fucked up, man. In the game I play, there's competitive and professional leagues, but it's slowly dying due to neglect by the company, and all the characters are, in fact, balanced.
Overwatch, you're talking about?
Yeah, basically. Which I suck at.
Why is Overwatch? It was everyone's special little guy for so long, and now it's dying?
Yeah, it's dying because Blizzard, the company, has not paid any attention to it. They wanted it to be some kind of professional esport, but then they kind of stopped making content for it. So it's dying a slow death of no new content.
What are they focusing on instead? What's Blizzard's iron in the fire? The new World of Warcraft thing, which is really the old World of Warcraft thing, but probably gets more players than Overwatch?
I think it's what's going on at Blizzard is similar to what's happened with Nintendo. They both had events this week. Nintendo had a thing, Nintendo Direct, I guess, and Blizzard had...
Yeah, they had a 50-minute Nintendo Direct, which was meh.
And they didn't announce anything except for shitty RPGs, is what I saw, basically.
Yeah, they announced a bunch of anime noises, a bunch of people going, a bunch of those video games. So if you want to hear a bunch of anime grunts. What did they announce? The only thing, they announced a Mario Golf game. That was the most exciting game that they announced.
Yeah. I mean, Blizzard.
And they announced a re-release of the worst Zelda, Skyward Sword.
So they're doing, I mean, that's kind of cool, because then Skyward Sword will be on the Switch, right?
Yeah, but there's so many Zelda games I would release before that. Wind Waker, chief among them.
But didn't they do... No, but they did a re-release of Wind Waker, though.
Yeah, but they did it on Wii U.
Yeah, but you can't re-release a re-release. That's crazy.
You can re-release it. That's what they do all the time. They're doing that for... Are you kidding? With Kingdom Hearts, there's so many re-releases of re-releases. They can just package all of the weird, shitty handheld games onto, which is what they did for Kingdom Hearts.
Well, I would be excited for Skyward Sword if I ever finished Breath of the Wild, but I didn't because I stopped playing Switch because it's a teeny tiny console for babies.
Yeah, it's for babies.
I like my big boy console for adults.
Why is Overwatch dying?
I don't know. I guess Blizzard's focusing on other things. Blizzard doesn't have that many games. They have StarCraft, Diablo, Overwatch, and then like
World of Warcraft.
Yeah, World of Warcraft, which is, I mean, that game's dead as fuck. So I don't know, but they're probably trying to come up with some new-fangled battle royale game, which is all the rage these days. There's the new thing in video games, like what kids play, are battle royale games, like Fortnite, Valorant, Call of Duty Warzone, Apex Legends. And it's all the same game. Like, it's the same mechanics and the same idea. Yeah. It's
different aesthetics, though,
slightly.
Which I think is what people... I mean, well, that's what makes Fortnite appealing. There's no difference between PUBG and Fortnite except for really aesthetic and the fact that there's a building element in Fortnite, which is kind of fun, I guess. But I think the reason why Fortnite's so popular is because it has that cartoony art style, which... de-emphasizes, which makes it a more effective party game, you know.
Yeah, I guess it's a fun game to hang out and play, but it seems kind of stressful. I mean, it's a first-person shooter, and you can die, and then people troll you and tell you suck, which is annoying.
Well, that's why the cartooniness of Fortnite is integral, because it relieves that pressure. Like, when you die in Call of Duty, you feel it more, because the atmosphere is geared towards realism to some degree. But Fortnite is, it's you're playing as Jango Fett, and some kid has a big wolf head, but it's where his dick should be, and
whoa,
it's fun.
They have wolf head dick.
Wolf head dick.
Anyway, I watched some people play those games on Twitch to try to get a feel for what's going on, and I've been watching Twitch a little bit, and it's a very interesting phenomenon because I feel like most young people, that's a big part of their lives is Twitch as a media thing. Mm-hmm. For us, maybe it was YouTube, or I don't know, for the previous, not generation, like micro generation, because we're into the like the previous iteration then of people going to online stuff for media consumption. It was YouTube, but Twitch is really big in a weird way, and it encourages you to create content, which is just have someone watch you play a video game.
Yeah, but it's like it's whereas YouTube is a somewhat divorced parasocial experience, Twitch is the ultimate parasocial experience because you are actually interacting with somebody. And it's still mediated
on
but
Twitch
to some degree.
I've noticed this.
It's more real than anything you can get.
And what I've noticed on several Twitch streams is that, unlike they have about me and like maybe some rules for the chat. And one of the rules that I've seen a couple of times is like, please interact with me. You must interact with me. You must talk to me. And the real goal is to develop a parasocial relationship. That's what they're selling. And it's like, well, is this more way of developing profiles to sell advertising, or is there anything else going on?
Well, I mean, Twitch is used for, definitely in the speedrunning community, I get why Twitch is necessary beyond just a parasocial element, because, you stream your runs, you show stuff for other people. Other people like watching it. They gain some sort of enjoyment outside of the parasocial element. I think what I would compare it to, though, OnlyFans. You know, the reason why OnlyFans is a much more effective version of pornography than sort of more mediated versions of pornography. Also, I like the idea that Twitch seems to be, even though it's controlled by evil Amazon, it seems to fuck with people's revenues less than YouTube, maybe? Or maybe I'm totally wrong about that.
Well, what do you mean? Whose revenue?
Well, you know how YouTube just has a lot of stringent rules, and, you know, anyone can execute DMCA takedown on you, and it's really harsh on that. I guess Twitch rules are pretty mercurial when it comes to, like, banning people. But that's only if you're a big account or something.
That's the new problem on Twitch, is, like, now they're banning people for DMCA notices.
Whoa.
Yeah, this has happened recently. They've decided to not allow copyrighted music to be streamed on Twitch.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah. I mean, it was
like even a second of copyrighted music is out of line.
I don't know. I mean, there's probably a sliding scale, and if they can catch you because it's so much content, I think if it's an ongoing problem, they'll probably ban you. And eventually, there will be a reckoning between the game studios and Twitch, because some gaming studios aren't happy with their game being streamed. For games like Fortnite, they don't care. But for smaller indie games...
that's how they make money. Yeah.
For smaller indie games or story-based games, like if you have like a story-based indie game and a popular person on Twitch streams playing a small indie-based story game to 80,000, that's like 80,000 people seeing it who don't have to buy it now.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that sucks. That would suck to be an indie developer and have that happen to you. You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's the idea that it's sort of this idea that we get from the internet that exposure directly leads to money, right? The idea that, oh, your tweet got 100,000 retweets. You must be, all the offers must be coming in now? No. Because that fame is the most fleeting. It almost as if it was never there in the first place. Yeah. And I want to take advantage of our ability to play licensed music. I'm going to skip this commercial, but I wanted to play a song that was featured prominently in the Adam Curtis documentary.
I mean,
another song that was featured prominently.
We don't have any ability to play it. We would also be... if any...
Well, we're talking over it, and we're using... It's satire,
okay.
So... that no one would... I think one of the rules is, would someone listen to this over the original recording as opposed to the original recording of Lady in Red by Christopher? That is what I'm playing. I'm playing Lady in Red. Let's skip to the good part. I missed it. Yeah! Yeah! Yeah, she's dancing with me. Yeah! Oh, it's the Lady in Red.
The soy boy meme.
What?
It's the soy meme.
The soy meme? Yeah. I'm doing the soy face?
Yeah, you're doing soy face.
Mouth open. 80s were a fun time.
Yeah, the music never was better than the 80s.
I agree, actually. I don't know if you say that in jest, but I do.
I do not
all of my favorite albums are from the 80s.
Yeah, I do not say it in jest. The music, the peak, the pinnacle, wow, the acme, if you will, was reached by this country in the 80s when we defeated our mortal enemy, Soviet Union.
The Jews.
Whoa. No, Soviet Union. Because they wanted to make us all slaves to each other. Yeah. And as we know, every man is an individual who should not even attempt to make his society better.
Guess what? All men are islands, bitch.
Yes, that's right. All men are islands. Don't even try to reach us. We're actively filling in moats and fortresses, building fortresses, installing booby traps, trap doors, and shotguns behind every corner.
Every man is an H.H. Holmes murder house. The deeper you go in, the more likely you are to find a door that leads to nowhere. And then you look behind you, and it's a spooky ghost.
Spooky.
And he's racist.
Whoa, oh, right. What were we talking about? The racist ghosts?
Oh, we're just talking about how ghosts and racism, have been associated. Because the Ku Klux Klan looked like spooky ghosts and whatnot. I feel like, a racist, it's easy to buy that a ghost would be racist. Also, they're from the past, so, racist ghost isn't that far-fetched.
Yeah, that would be a spooky thing for Jordan Peele to make a movie about, like a racist horror movie. Not only
racist ghosts.
Not only are the ghosts spooky, they are racist.
The spooky, which is perhaps the spookiest thing of all.
What are you, ghosts from the Civil War? What is going on?
There is a key in Peele's sketch where they're not getting bitten by zombies because the zombies are racist, which is funny.
Are they like, they kind of look at each other quizzically, like, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Is that what happened?
Yeah. And then there's another one where aliens invade and they're able to they shapeshift into humans and they're able to tell which aliens are aliens because they're saying, "Would you let me date their daughter?" And they say it's a old white guy. Of course. Yeah. And they kill him. Wow. Which is fun. Yeah, they made a lot of those sketches. What if vampires but black people? Yeah.
And now they make movies for the Biden administration.
Yeah. Do they? I guess Jordan Peele isn't. He's not Mr. Subversive, but I thought Us had good political messaging in it. I didn't think. I thought Us had actually a pretty anti-capitalist message at its core.
I don't know. I don't remember as much a message from Us like I do from Get Out.
It wasn't as explicit as Get Out.
Like the message from Get Out was like, never tell anyone that you voted for Obama. Keep that shit close to your chest. Okay? They're going to accuse you of being a Get Out person.
Yeah. Never be too enthusiastic about how you voted for Obama.
Why don't you just...
But that actually is good advice.
Why don't you just cool it with the Biggie lyrics? How about that?
Don't try and show black people how much you know about black culture. Yeah.
When the UPS guy comes, don't invite him in and show him your vinyl collection. Don't
start talking about John Coltrane in front of him.
Yeah.
Man, train could really blow, man. Man, please, I got so many deliveries today, man. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Oh, another big topic. Ice dams on my house causing big ass icicles. I'm talking like a 6-foot sharp icicle is now hovering above my entrance. A icicle of Damocles. And if I, in my ever-increasing girth, bump into my doorway on the way out of my house one day, I may be impaled by said icicle. But hopefully, it will just catch some of my fat and not, anything vital. But yeah, I'm an obese man now. I weigh about 400 pounds.
Yeah. But, it has special icicle blocking powers, not unlike walruses.
Well,
that's how they're avoiding icicles constantly.
Yeah. I like those medical stories where they're like, and he was saved, actually, by being too fat.
Yeah. Or like the one where the guy survived the Titanic by being extremely drunk, so his body was able to withstand the freezing waters.
What? No way.
Yeah, that's a story from chef from the Titanic drank so much that he was able to survive the frigid North Atlantic.
How did the alcohol make it so that he could survive the cold water?
Because he didn't go into shock, and so his body was sort of regulating itself as normal and wasn't using up excess energy. Oh, and so badass. People were able to find him before he died.
Badass. So he was just like, oh, that's a bit cold. I guess I'm taking a swim now. Kind of blacked out there for a while. Now I'm all wet. Dude, the strategic blackout, it is a lifesaver. I've used it one time and it helped me, which we don't have time to get into that story of my one strategic blackout, but when you can pull it off, that's great. I'm glad for that guy. That's a great story.
Yeah. I only do it when driving, or as it's called now, Bruce Springsteening.
Oh, yeah. Can't believe he had an ad for a car before getting a DUI. That sucks for Jeep, I guess.
I like the idea of him like trying to sex up the cop. Do you know who I am?
Did he?
I'll suck your dick.
Was he trying to sex up the cop?
Nah. Oh man. Let's just say I was born to run, okay? And by run, I mean suck this dick.
No, he was probably very respectful of the police officer.
Listen, man, I'm just an old Jersey boy who'll suck your dick, just vacuum it off like a full-on Romney.
I mean, it sounds like it would be pretty satisfying to arrest Bruce Springsteen. I kind of wish I was a police officer just so I could arrest, like, drunk celebrities, but they don't get to do that often, I bet.
Is Bruce Springsteen sucking a cop stick?
When you're a famous person like that, do you think you at any point you're like, come on? Do you think you ever say that?
Yeah.
Like, hey, you know what?
Yeah. Well,
on the other
maybe
hand,
not Bruce.
I am Bruce
Maybe
Springsteen.
not Saint Bruce.
I mean,
he was driving drunk, but I don't think he would lie to people.
Yeah, he was driving drunk, but like if I was Bruce Springsteen and I was caught driving drunk, I at some point I would want to be like, if you let me go, I will give you $1 million. I would say that and then see what happens. Then you might go to jail for trying to bribe a cop if it's a clean cop, but if you find a dirty cop,
I keep Clarence Clemens' ashes in my glove compartment. You can have them.
Is that the violin player?
That's you're mixing up Bruce Springsteen with Dave Matthews Band.
Sorry, they're the same band.
Clarence Clemens was the sax player.
Okay,
in the E Street Band.
So,
and he was there from the beginning.
Oh, and it was his his best friend though? Did the violin?
Yeah, it was one of his best friends.
Did the violin player from Dave Matthews die?
No, I think the violin player did die, Lawan Moore. But he also might have been... No, I don't want to say anything. But here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Matthews Band, great.
Oh, the violin player for Dave Matthews Band's still alive.
Did the saxophone player from Dave Matthews Band die? It was the saxophone player then.
I thought someone died from Dave Matthews Band that Dave Matthews got.
Someone did die. It wasn't
super
Dave
sad
Matthews,
about.
Though. Yeah, very sad.
Him on the
da 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 da. So when I hear ants marching, I want to remix it with "Take a Walk on the Wild Side" because it's.
Yeah, Leroy Moore.
They go from the 1 to the 4 to the 1 to the 4.
Saxophonist and founding member of Dave Matthews Band, Leroy Moore died in 2008. It seems like it was yesterday.
Yeah, I don't remember. Wow, it was that long ago that Leroy Moore died.
Seems like yesterday.
When did Clarence Clemens die? I feel he also died around the same time. It was just a bad year for saxophonists in middling rock bands in general.
Oh, man.
The E Street Band is, of course, much better than Dave Matthews Band, but I call them middling because they appeal to middle people.
Yeah, they only ever have to play one chord, so it's not like every fucking Dave Matthews song is one riff for 5 minutes, and it gets like quiet and then loud, and then quiet and then loud.
Yeah, every Dave Matthews song is da 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 da.
Dave Matthews was big at my house too growing up. Weezer, Dave Matthews, these are the big names. Big names growing up. Huge presence in my mental room that I lived in. I lived in one mental room for 8 years. Inside of my own mind. That's right. I lived inside of my own.
Filled with Dave Matthews.
Yeah. I opened a little door in my forehead and walked inside, and I didn't leave for 8 years. It was cool. I had it set up.
That's creative imagery.
Yeah, I had
it's very good.
I had it set up entirely how I liked it, and then it all came crashing down like a house of cards.
Yeah. in your brain.
That's what it's called to grow up.
House of Cards in your brain.
As Blink-182 said, I guess this is growing up.